All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our virtual Meet Us At series. Today, we're going to be learning a lot from Rachel Harris-Ledette, who is the principal and strategic director of marketing for 3090 Marketing. She is a marketing strategy consultant here in New Orleans and has 15 years of marketing and business development experience. She works with her clients to increase brand recognition, develop full-scale marketing plans, and implement business development processes. She also, we're proud to have her as an instructor in our UNO's PACE, Professional and Continuing Education program, and she teaches a very, very thorough and exciting digital marketing class. So take a look at that if you're interested. Anyway, I will stop talking and let Rachel go on with her presentation. I will be back at the end. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. Is everything okay with the audio and slide so far?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for that brief introduction, and I'm happy to be with you guys here today. My name is Rachel Ledette, and I, as Francis said, I've been doing marketing for about 15 years. I did mostly in-house corporate marketing for a very long time, and right about 2 years ago started consulting for a number of different client types. I have a lot of professional services firms that are my clients, also nonprofit and retail and consultants, and really just have a focus on helping small businesses grow. So when I was approached by UNO to do a digital marketing class about a year ago, we really kind of decided to take a holistic approach of looking at marketing in general and how that applies to the digital world, and to really offer something that UNO alums and other New Orleanians could really get involved with, to get a good broad-based overview of digital marketing and at least get an understanding of kind of the 8 to 10 major topics that are all encompassing with digital marketing. Last year, the program was in person on campus, and probably about 6 months or so ago, we decided to take it online so that it would really be more accessible to alumni across the country and out of the country, and also to get more business professionals involved with the PACE program. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that if anyone is interested. Today, I'm going to be doing a very, very small snippet of online presence, and something that I'm very passionate about because I see the impacts on how it helps professionals to develop their career trajectories and their online networking. So we're going to go through a few slides. It's not a whole lot. Please feel free to ask questions. I can see the chat, and so we can talk throughout. If you have any questions, please shoot them over to me. And if not, we can talk at the end, and I have my contact information and everything as well. So I am going to stop my screen share for a minute so that we can focus on the slides here. And hopefully you guys can all see my screen. So today's topic is building a professional profile online and utilizing LinkedIn to grow your network and to advance your career. The reason we kind of did these two major categories is because some people are very happy in their current job, role, or career, and some people are really aiming to expand their network for sales opportunities, company opportunities, greater connectivity. So no matter what your main goal is right now, these kind of tips and tricks can help you to build out a more robust online profile. I have a lot of clients currently who have websites and who are moderately engaged online on social, but admittedly are not very present on LinkedIn. And I do a lot of educating about the value of that and what that really can do for your business. I have a client that we just did a really big strategic marketing plan for. And once he saw about 2 weeks of activity on LinkedIn after investing 2 hours of time, he was really floored by how much connectivity and really business development can come out of this. So it's not just online and out there in the web universe. It's real, and it really can help drive connectivity and sales for your firm. I certainly believe in it wholeheartedly, and I've had a lot of opportunities, both career-wise and business-wise, because of it. So let's jump in. Why does your online profile matter? Really, it serves as your online resume and an example of your professional acumen. It can position you as a knowledge owner and a leader in your field and at your organization. There are opportunities to build your network of partners, vendors, potential customers, potential recruiters and job seekers, and just really the overall visibility of you as a professional and also of your firm. So if you're a leader in your firm and you're trying to grow the expertise and outreach of your firm, there is some argument that your LinkedIn can be as powerful as your actual website. And there's some very specific Google reasons why, which I'll jump into in just a second. And then career opportunities. So as I mentioned before, I'm a consultant and I run my own company, 3090 Marketing, but I often get career opportunities sent to me because recruiters can see my resume online and can see the things that I'm involved with, and they will reach out to me about different opportunities that pop up, which I think is very interesting because I'm not job seeking, but because it shows that the connection is working. Also, in this very strange economic time, there are still people who are hiring right now. And I truly believe, and I'm seeing, that LinkedIn is a resource for connecting people, for recruiters to find people, for applicants to find out about jobs. And it can be really, really powerful on that side too. So whether you're really trying to promote your business or yourself as a leader in your industry, or you're trying to seek job opportunities, LinkedIn can be a very powerful tool. The whole Google side. So based on the way that Google sees LinkedIn, the algorithm is set and ever changing, but currently is set to respond very, very well to LinkedIn posts and profiles. So your LinkedIn profile, if it is really built out, will often rank higher on Google than even your website does, no matter how much SEO and content writing you have built into your website. So I've had other digital marketing consultants tell me that they've invested a ton of money and time in their website, and their LinkedIn profiles are still outranking their website, which is fine because at least it gives you a link to have someone connect to you. And I know from my clients, when I do just frequent Google searches on them to see how they're ranking, that often their LinkedIn comes up first, their Facebook comes up second, and then their website comes in somewhere after that. So if you consider it a free point of SEO for you to drive people to you, your company, or your business, really it's foolish to not have it built out because it's there and it's free and Google likes it. So we should go ahead and utilize it. I'm going to just really start with some profile basics. This is a snapshot of my profile probably about 2 months ago. I think I have an updated image since then if you go look me up. But I did a presentation from a digital marketing class and pulled some of this information for them because we spent some time updating our own profiles through the course. The sort of three main beginning pieces of building the profile are the cover image, the profile picture, and your headline. And there's no exact science to how these come together, but these are certainly some tips for you to make sure you know how to build out and really create something that's professional and attractive. So I will start with the cover image, which is that long, skinny banner image at the top. The recommended size for that is 1584 by 396 pixels, which is very long and skinny. The image that I have here is from a conference that I went to last fall that was for entrepreneurship, which was really exciting. Some people choose to do a landscape, a cityscape, a painting. This is kind of the area of your profile that can be your creative moment, your passion, a mountain setting, something that kind of talks to your personality and is slightly less about your resume. I certainly would say to stick to things that you would be okay with having posted in your office, that you don't want anything that's controversial or has any innuendos of any type, but anything that's artistic or represents you or your hobbies or your career or something that you're passionate about is fine. I will say sometimes you have to kind of edit the image because it is that tiny slice that sometimes people will upload an image and it'll look a little weird because it's cutting off so much. So just kind of play with it. LinkedIn will let you slide it around so that you kind of grab that middle section, but just be aware of how it looks after you've uploaded it. You might have to tweak it some. Your profile picture is what shows up in the circle, and it is certainly important that you have a headshot and that you're in good lighting. The best lighting really is to be outside if you don't have a professional photo taken in very even light so that you're not having strange sunspots on your face or squinting or something like that. You can be dressed professionally in a blazer or jacket, or you can, if your industry is a little more casual, wear, a polo shirt with your company logo on it. I would avoid being overly casual unless you are an artist and you are in a community where it is really acceptable to be casual. I kind of would match your profile picture to your industry type. So what would you wear at work? What do you look like in a normal work setting? This kind of is speaking to your whole audience. And it's important that you kind of look like yourself at work. There's a few reasons for that. One is authenticity, of course, and also people use LinkedIn as a tool to know who you are and know something about you and to kind of know what you look like if they're going to be meeting with you. And I do this all the time in a normal world where I'm meeting someone for lunch who's maybe a potential client, and I might connect with them on LinkedIn ahead of time. And if I can see who they are, then I know who they are when I walk into the restaurant. And it just kind of gets that first layer of connectivity, which I think is wonderful. And people use it all the time. If you don't think they're looking you up on LinkedIn, you are sadly mistaken, because they are. So just making sure that it's a really good first impression. No pictures where you're cropping out friends and it looks like a college photo. No pictures where you're taking a selfie of yourself. Have someone take a picture of you. Even an iPhone camera can be really effective. Kind of do that bust up shot, and color or black and white, they're both fine, but just make sure that it's a good representation of you and how you want people to see you. The headline is that line that appears right below your name, and often people have their title written there. So the reason that we want to not do your title is that your job information and your experience is shared throughout your profile. And this is really more of a tagline for you. So let's say your job title is project manager. That's what your job title is at your firm. That could be really generic, and someone in a different industry might not understand totally what that means. So you might want to say something more about the innovation that you provide to your clients, or the solutions that you provide in your field, or something that is a little bit more about what you do. For example, mine says marketing strategist, growing businesses through visibility, branding, and client connection. So if you clicked on me and I said that I'm a marketing consultant, you might not know what the heck that means. But if you clicked on me and I said this little blurb, you might understand that I do some branding exercises and teach clients how to connect with their community. And you might know a little bit more about the flavor of my job role. So there's some more creative ways to say that you do what you do. There is a 120 character limit. And so you may have to play with it a little bit on how you exactly present your little blurb. But it's a great idea to kind of look through other people's too and see what people are saying. Okay, next page, the About section. There is an About section that is below the heading and the profile picture. It's about 6 lines or so of space. This changes from time to time. I just went and looked, and it looks like LinkedIn is letting you put a little bit more information there. This is kind of your opening cover letter or quick snippets about your service or your expertise. So in mine, for example, I'm using mine just because I have access to it and because I've given some thought to it. This is certainly not a hard, fast, perfect example, but I do try to do a lot of research on how to make it better, and try to make it really personal and explanatory so that people understand what it is that I do. So I talk a little bit more about the strategy setting that I do, some of my areas of specialty, areas that I really focus on for marketing and business development, and then kind of a call to action to get in touch with us to do some marketing exploration for your firm. Certainly, there are ways for you to customize this for your company, but this is kind of more where you would start talking about your specific job tasks and or services that you provide. If you are job seeking, I would certainly use this section to talk about some of the qualifications that you have as a professional and maybe some like key areas that make you stand out. The career opportunities section, I wanted to just make sure we at least hit on. It shows up. This is the profile editing screen that I have screenshot for you. The box to the right where I have the blue bar around it, where it says show recruiters are open to job opportunities. This is where if you're job seeking, you'll get this white box that comes up, add job preferences. This is where you should enter in job titles that you're looking for, geographic regions that you're looking for, what type of people you want to see this. Is this only for recruiters? They have a special paid login account that they use, so they can filter through a little differently than just a normal viewer. Or do you want everyone to see this? This is to kind of control some privacy. So if you had a job, but you're looking and you don't want everyone you work with to see this, this would show to recruiters and kind of only appear on those people's login systems because it's customized to them. So here's some just career opportunities screens that you want to make sure you fill out. Now, I'll also tell you, I don't have this filled out on mine because this is actually mine, and I still get people who reach out to me. So you don't have to necessarily, but I do think it helps a little bit. The professional experience section has your job title. So here is where you put your actual job title. Your company, all of your companies should have a company page. So that is where you will actually link to your company's page. Just be careful. Sometimes people type in their own company name, and if it doesn't hook to the company's page, it will not kind of roll up to that company, which you do want to be part of the actual specific real page of the company. Your location, your start and end date. The reason that this is important is because it will basically line it up like a resume so that your history is written out. The reason that this is really helpful is because if someone is researching you and they see that you worked at XYZ firm 5 years ago and they know that their friend worked at the XYZ firm 5 years ago, there might be some commonality that they could pull from that and say, oh, that's great. They probably know so-and-so. And there could be a conversation starter around that. It also kind of shows the depth of your experience and the type of jobs that you've done and maybe your career trajectory over time. So this is kind of the resume part. This is like the meat of the matter of the actual resume. If you go look at mine, it will tell you the 4 or 5 firms that I've worked at, and it'll tell you about my work now. So without ever knowing me, you could say, oh, there's Rachel. She does consulting. She does some work with UNO. And here's the 3 or 4 firms she's worked at over the last decade. And we might know some of the same people because of that experience. So can kind of just map out where people have been and what type of work that they've done. Certainly make sure you add 2 to 3 sentences about your position, your responsibilities, your specialties there. If you are looking for a job, 100%, this is where the bullet points on your resume under each job would show up. So you want to say that you're a really experienced communicator with these various software applications or whatever specific thing makes sense for your job and your experience. My last bullet point, people use your histories to kind of search for individuals. So they might enter in a search for a company, let's say. If you are a past employee of that company and you're tied to them, you would also come up at some point in the search. And there may be a reason to connect with people based on their past history. So it can be a really useful tool. I use this a lot on trying to figure out where people are now and what job that they're serving and kind of where their career has come from. And I do a lot of business development training and coaching. And so we use that feature a lot to kind of just map people's career path and who they might know. The contact information section, of course, is very important. You can personalize your URL. You can kind of see mine there. It says Rachel Harris 1234. So that when you send your link to people, or if your company includes LinkedIn profiles on their team page on their website, instead of having some arbitrary URL, you can put your actual name in there, which I think just looks a little cleaner and is a little more easy to repeat and share. Add your company's website. You can add your phone number and address, and you can also make sure that only people who are your connections see these different things. So there is some privacy setting in there as well. And then certainly you always want to have your work email listed because that is how people will get in touch with you if they want to do business with you. And of course they can use the messenger too, but I like that my LinkedIn contacts can email me if they want to. You have to be a first connection to see someone's email address. So it's a little bit of a layer of security. The networking aspect. After you've filled out your profile and you feel pretty good about how it's set up, you really want to focus on building your network. The more people that you're connected to, that's more people that you can see their first connections. So it just kind of builds this web of who you can see. If you're in a sales role or in any type of role where you are needing to connect with people like sub-consultants, vendors, other professionals, associations, anything where you really need to be connecting with people, which I'm convinced everyone in their jobs needs to do, then by the nature of you connecting with others, you're seeing their web of connections as well, which is the whole entire point of LinkedIn. So I kind of give my clients goals to make 3 months of digging for 500 connections, because that will grow exponentially as time goes on. Inevitably, as you're building connections, you'll see more and more people, and they usually go a lot faster than 500 connections in 3 months, but that's just my starting goal. And of course, you'll start to see people who you recognize and who recognize you, and you'll start to get inbound requests in as well, which is really nice. The the manage your network button at the top of LinkedIn will show you how many current connections you have, and how many groups that you're in. You can join groups, kind of like a Facebook group. And then also how many pages you're following, and just kind of will give you a benchmark of how you're connecting, and you can set some goals for yourself. And LinkedIn also ranks you based on your connections, which I will get to in just a moment. I wanted to take a quick second to cover this because it's a newer technology in LinkedIn. I think it's really fabulous. If you are in a group meeting, which hopefully we will be meeting in groups at some point later this year, or if you're at a conference or anything where there's a group of people sitting together, and you turn your Bluetooth on, your mobile app, which does some different things than the web online version does, will allow you to connect with people in person. And this is a really, really amazing tool. I was at a roundtable discussion probably about 9 months or so ago, and we were having some really great conversations at a marketing workshop. And instead of us sitting there and trading cards with each other, we could open this app up. And if you go to the bottom, this is actually a screen grab from my phone. So if you go to the bottom where the little blue people my network is, you will get the circle button just over to the right at the bottom. It looks like a little human with a plus sign. And if you click on that, it'll ask you, do you want to find people nearby? And when you click on find nearby, this second screen pops up. Now, I'm working at home today, so there is nobody whose Bluetooth is on with LinkedIn next to me. But ordinarily, you'd see, however many people are in the room, their names and profiles would be all showing. And so you literally can go and click through and connect with everyone. So that's what we did at the round table. Everyone who was sitting there went through and connected. And then we all were able to instantly message each other, have each other's email addresses. It's kind of like a business card swap, only you can do it straight from your phone, which is super easy. And it kind of just helps you to kind of do like one great swoop through the room. I've also used this at larger conferences where the speaker has actually like stopped in the middle and said, hey, let's connect with each other. And 30 something people from around the country have connected. And some of them have contacted me later for questions about things going on in New Orleans, or different marketing things that they had questions about. So just having sort of like that quick grab of people via Bluetooth is really cool. Okay, I just got a question, and I'm going to stop for a quick second. What are your thoughts on accepting a request from someone you don't know? Maybe they're connected to someone that you know in the same industry. What are my thoughts on that? So I am in marketing, and I'm a consultant, and I am more open to people who I don't know firsthand because of the nature of my business. And because I work so much with entrepreneurs and small businesses, that I'm aware that I'm not always going to know you first before you reach out to me. Kind of my sort of quick take on it is that I don't accept every single person, but that if I can tell that your profile is legitimate and that you look like you're in business, or that you are more filled out in your profile and you're not scammy looking, then I would typically accept, especially if you are in an industry that is similar to kind of like my 5 top client areas of specialty, because the likelihood of you knowing about me or knowing them is pretty high. I don't think you need to be as tight as you are with your personal Facebook or Instagram page, because it's meant to be a wider cast and you're not putting your family or your home address or anything on there. If someone is across the world and looks like they have a profile because they're a telemarketer, then I am not accepting them. But if you're in New Orleans and you are connected to people who I know, or you're in an engineering field, I work a lot with engineers, then you look more legitimate to me, which is here again why you want your profile to look like a real person. Because if you try to reach out to me and you look authentic, then I'm more likely to accept you. I have a few more questions. This is awesome. What is your advice on showing recruiters you're looking for work if you currently have a job? So that's where you want to really have your specialties built out, because they will do searches on different keywords. I think that's how they keep finding me. And then that area that I showed a few slides back, if you're looking for a job, okay, I'm on slide 9. Well, let's go pop back to this real quick. This area right here will pop up this screen, and just do the only recruiters. Don't do, I think I might say everyone or public. That way it's just set toward the people who are looking. Now, as far as your HR, I don't know that it would block out certain people in your company. I think I would just personally, as an employee, would say that your profile is set to be open, because your initial profile setup was set up that way to be open to new opportunities in life. I mean, I would just leave it very vaguely like that. I don't know that I guess it depends what kind of company you work for, how suspicious or not suspicious someone would be. I will also say I get a lot of emails from LinkedIn with job opportunities that match my profile. And so that is a lot about how I see just kind of what's going on in the area. And so you might be able to change your LinkedIn notification preferences to be able to see more jobs. You can also search the jobs tab, which is really fantastic. Even right now during COVID, like there's a good amount of jobs since posted. Yes. I have a question from Karen. Is it okay to reach out to professionals in a field, excuse me, if you want advice on how to get to where they are or get some research about their field? I certainly have people reach out to me and message me and or try to connect, saying I'm moving to the area. What are some opportunities for me to connect with people? Can you help me, point me in the right direction for XYZ? I mean, not everyone will respond to you, but I think the more your profile is built out and the more sincere you are about your messaging, people are more open to connect and help. And I've had a good amount of people just kind of help me, even in building out my UNO class, because I say, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'd love your input. And they're go look at me. I can see they looked at me, and then they sort of respond, and then we take the conversation offline and go meet in person or talk on the phone or something. So it certainly works for me and my connections. Can you have too many connections? I think if you're just connecting with people for the sake of connecting, that's wasteful. I think that it should be people who are either in your field or people that you do know or people that you aspire to know. LinkedIn does do some kind of clumping of different industry types and will make suggestions to you based on that. And so you could blur the lines of that if you just like connect with every single human that pops up. Yes, I think work experience in the past can be helpful, even if it's not related to your major, because it shows your well-roundedness. And I'm sure that there are valuable skills that you learned there, even if you don't use them in your next job, like communications, project management, multitasking, things like that. I love these questions. Okay. If you don't have a lot of experience in your recent grad, then you can reach out to people who you know through your personal experiences, like your parents, friends, and maybe some people who are older in different parts of your community. And you could really very coolly ask for recommendations on character, kind of character references, which would be really nice to build up your personal references section, which I love. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second too, about kind of building up the whole rec area, because I think that that's really helpful too. And then you can also connect with your classmates and your professors and anyone that you've had an internship with or come into contact with that could vouch for you. That would be really helpful too. If you have experience, even just on a college level, of organizations that you're in and leadership opportunities that you've had, or maybe you've had a really great project experience or some really great public facing assignment or something, you could even talk about some of those little snippets, kind of like you would on a resume, to just kind of boost your professional acumen. Let me get just the last 3 slides, and then we'll have probably about 15 minutes for some more questions. Some other things you can add to build your profile: positions you've held, especially if you're a college student, leadership stuff, great. Any nonprofits that you've been involved with, any boards that you've served on, awards that you've gotten, that applies to professionals and new graduates. Asking for recommendations. If you link with me, you can go see some of my recommendations. So I ask colleagues and clients that I've had and supervisors that I've had to recommend me. So there's kind of a mix of them throughout my career. But what I usually do is I offer to write one for them and then ask them for one in return. So you could even do like coworkers. But what it does is just kind of adds a face and a name and a testimonial, kind of like on a website, a client testimonial might serve as, where they can say, hey, I've worked with Rachel in the past. She was really awesome at helping me communicate this whatever topic, and I totally wholeheartedly trust her for these services. Because if you want to know who I am and you go see that I have 10 people who trust me and like working with me, then how great is that for recruiters or a potential client, or really, it's just, there's nothing greater than a recommendation from another person who's worked with you. I think as a college student, if you don't have a ton of professional experience, asking some of your professors or anyone that you've worked with in the past to just say something nice about your character and the way that you have implemented your work ethic can go a very long way. And they can write a sentence or two. It doesn't have to be super robust. Last point on this page is just you can add different like companies or news sources or trade publications that you enjoy. You can kind of go follow them there, and that sort of will show people what you're interested in. So like if you're an architect, you might follow some really interesting sustainable resources publications, and that just kind of shows that you're part of the community that cares about those areas of interest. We're getting close to the end of the all-star rating. I just wanted to share this with you. Down here in the bottom right, this is my mobile view, but it shows on the webcast as well. It's the highest level of profile completion, and LinkedIn basically gives you this star and says that your profile is built out. I think you have to have 500 connections to get the all-star rating. It's something like that. But you have to have all the fields filled out. And LinkedIn reports that all-stars are 27 times more likely to be found by recruiters and get 3 times more views from searches. So if like somebody typed in like marketing professional, ideally I would rise higher than someone who doesn't have a profile filled out. Certainly for job seekers, you should care about that. And then also just, if someone has been referred to me and they can find my name really easily, that's just better for business for me. So you want to rank at the top. Think about this as this like own little Google world. It also shows that you're an active participant and that you're well connected and that you are part of the conversation. So you're you have posts, you're engaged, you are a member of a community on, the whole platform. Okay. Quick note about company pages. This is for people who are employed with a company already. So the way that LinkedIn works with company pages is that they are seen as important and they are necessary in a sense that it's kind of like the old school yellow pages. It's kind of like having a Facebook page for your business. It needs to be there because it is a listing and a point of reference for your phone number, your office hours, your service or product offerings. It has to be there. It provides legitimacy. It provides a place so that your employees can link to the main company so that you're all under one umbrella. You're not just having 6 people say that they work for ABC company with no actual linking to the main company page. And it is a repository to put news and things for your company. Google does not rank the company page as highly as it ranks professionals. So what that means is that the person themselves, so me as an employee, need to be posting on my page because the leadership that I have in my company speaks to Google better. So if you have 6 people that own your firm and they are not actively using LinkedIn, they are basically missing sort of that SEO opportunity for the firm because their names are going to come up and their conversations about the company and their viewpoints and their posts and all that stuff is going to come up well on Google, which just drives marketing for your firm. So it's sort of, it's not totally obvious. Like you would kind of think that the company page would rank higher. But for whatever reason, the Google algorithm does really well with people. If you start searching people on Google, you will see their LinkedIn pages come up. And so point of that is that you want your company to share information and posts and articles, but you really want your employees and your leaders to be posting them. It just works better. The recommendation for a person is 3 to 5 times per week, which is a lot. But you can share curated content. So you can share articles from trade publications and other people and news sources, and you can share things without writing your own content every single time. And that counts towards that goal of 3 to 5 per week. That's a whole other topic about social media posting. That is a whole other lesson for another day. But just kind of understand how the algorithm does work differently from a company page to a actual personal profile page. The last thing I want to close with is just a really quick snippet about the PACE program and the digital marketing program. As I said, we are moving to an online platform this coming semester. It'll start in September. It's 2 8-week mini semesters, so 16 weeks total. There's a break around the holidays, and you do get a certificate of completion at the end. Part of the program is that we develop a portfolio so that you can kind of keep track of the projects that you've done, and that if you're trying to seek job growth or expansion, you have a place to put everything together to demonstrate what you've learned, and to also use it for interviewing and advancing your career. So it's a fun class. It's a very real world experience. Things I've seen and learned and gathered from different digital marketing gurus in their field. And it is an ever-changing, ever-evolving industry, and we have to be constantly learning. So that's kind of the point of the class, is to stay on top of what's happening, how the world changes almost daily with digital, and how we implement smart strategy through really traditional marketing into tools that are delivered in a digital platform. You can find out more information at pace.uno.edu. And this is my information. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, my business website if you want to go learn more about my consulting firm, and my email if you want to shoot me another email offline. So that is all I have for today. Certainly, if you guys have any more questions, you can shoot them over to me. I did want to show y'all this one last thing, and then I'm going to go back to my contact page in case you want to grab this. But I wanted to just mention that the mobile platform, while I don't love it as much for posting, because I find that when you're posting, the actual web version is a little easier to manipulate, especially for company posts. But the messaging application on the phones is really cool. So if you go to the messaging at the bottom of your screen, you can send an attachment or video to a person, which I think is really cool if you are in more of a sales role where you want to connect with people, because people are really impressed when you send a quick video snippet to them, asking how they're doing, saying hello, asking to meet. This is all in a non-COVID-19 world. But me and my clients have used this to just send quick friendly messages to people, inviting them to meetings or trying to connect. And it's just really personal, and I think people are pretty impressed with it when you send them a video saying, hey, Susan, so great meeting you at the conference. Would love to catch up with you next week. Can I give you a call? It's just really personal, and I think it's pretty cool. So I just wanted to show y'all this. That camera icon will allow you to send photos, and then the video icon next to it will let you take a quick little video of yourself talking, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that's my information. I know I kind of talked a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Zayed just said, thank you for an amazing presentation. That's so supportive. I appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat now. If you want to talk a little bit more offline, or you can even connect with me on LinkedIn and then send me a message asking me to look at your profile. I can do that too. Otherwise, that's all I have for today. And thank y'all for letting me come and talk. Posting. Okay, so I have a question about posting portfolios on LinkedIn. I certainly think that the documents, there's an area to upload documents, can be really cool to upload portfolio items. If you have something really nice that you want to showcase, I think that could be a great place to do that. You can also link, if you have like an online portfolio, like if you're a graphic designer or have a really cool online portfolio. I've even seen where like, architecture students will be required to do a portfolio when they have an online, here we go. Okay, it's me again. If you have an online portfolio, you can link to it with some of the profile section where there's different links. I think I have some documents on my profile of some different things that I've done. I have to go look at that. I keep a lot of documents on my website, so I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely think if you have something that you're willing to share with people, if you're looking for a job or you're just trying to show what type of service your company does, and you're willing to share that, I think that it can be a really great place for that. So it's kind of this like online bubble of anything that you would attach to a professional resume. So sure, I think it could be a really great place to put portfolio items. Any other questions? Thank y'all for joining us today. I'm excited. We had a good group of participants here, and also UNO shares the links to the video. So you can go back and watch it later, or you can send it to your friends. They just told me earlier that they posted on the virtual events page on the alumni group and also on YouTube. So we can go back and reference this if we would like. And Rush just said, thank you, UNO, for putting this together. So that's awesome. Thank y'all so much. Get in touch if you'd like to, and use this time to build up your online presence while we're kind of living in this strange world. I have a firm belief that by the time we get back to some type of normal, that we could do better at our own personal marketing. This is a good time to invest in it.
Definitely. Rachel, thank you so much. This was excellent. And I know I personally got lots out of it. So
awesome.
I hope everyone else did too. Like Rachel said, we will be posting the video on YouTube, and you can always go to our page, unoalumni.com/virtual events. And we have all of our virtual Meet Us At series on there with the links to the videos for the past ones. So take a look at that. Also, I'll be sending out a follow-up email, so you will get Rachel's contact information and any other information that we want to share. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any additional questions, certainly feel free to email us at alumni@uno.edu. And we just really appreciate your participation. Thanks so much. And y'all have a great afternoon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.